Hi, everybody. I'm here to give you the instructions for how to do the graduation recording project that we're going to undertake. This is going to be a special thing, but also very difficult, and it requires a lot of setup, a lot of practice, and a lot of very specific instructions that need to be followed. So, before we begin with the instructions, I want to make sure that you have the music for this. There are three pieces that we're going to record together: the vocal singing part for Faith, Hope, and Love, the instrumental part for Faith, Hope, and Love, and yes, the instrumental part for Pomp and Circumstance. Now, I know you're going to be upset about that last one, so I'll go ahead and give you some time to express your anger at the computer. Hopefully you didn't punch your screen. Why are we doing Pomp and Circumstance? Well, because I know you as band members pretty much hate it, unless you're a freshman and you don't know, in which case you get to find out how much you're going to hate it, that we just don't like playing it. It's a terrible thing to do at graduation. We have to play it forever and ever and ever. The good news is you only have to play it through one time this year, because I will loop it internally and do some stuff with it to make it last as long as we need it to on my end. You only have to play through Pomp and Circumstance one time from cover to cover. No repeats, by the way, so don't take any of the repeats on Pomp and Circumstance. Just play straight through, no repeats. So, why are we doing that? Well, because it means a lot to the people who are graduating. And I don't know for certain that there's going to be a thing, but I want to have it ready to go in case the school decides that they want to have either an online graduation or something. Something tells me that it's going to be useful. So I want to go ahead and make it now. So, yes, we're going to play Pomp and Circumstance. You're going to play Faith, Hope, and Love, and you're going to sing Faith, Hope, and Love. You do not need to sing the same part that you play for Faith, Hope, and Love. Sing the part that is comfortable for you, okay? Don't sing the one that necessarily that you play. If you want to sing multiple parts, go for it. If you want to play multiple parts and submit those, go for it. Send them all as individual files, and I'll show you how to submit those later, and that'll be fine. Okay, so let's get into how you're actually going to do this. And I need you to follow these instructions really carefully, because if you don't do these right, it makes it a lot more work for me, or it might just make it impossible for me to be able to do this. So the first and most important thing is practice it. Make sure you can play everything. I know it's very, very easy, but make sure you can sing it, make sure you can play it. 10 times is not a crazy number, and not over just one day. This is a thing that you should probably work on a day or two before you actually record, just to make sure that it's fully, there and present in your mind. On the day that you're going to actually record, make sure that you prepare yourself and your recording space. Dress up. Doesn't need to necessarily be concert black, but you need to dress up because this is a concert and it's going to be seen. Make sure you tune your instrument, and make sure the area that you record in is quiet and will stay that way for your entire recording. So if you have any pets, you might want to go somewhere where the dog's not going to come running in. You don't want any family members to come in and distract you. If somebody's out mowing the grass, maybe wait until they're done mowing the grass. Try to get your recording area as quiet as possible. I know that might be difficult, especially in this time when we're all stuck at home, but if you have practiced, this will take less than 15 minutes for you to run through. So maybe you can just ask everybody, hey, I'm going to record this thing that means a lot. Could you just be quiet for 15 minutes? Next, you want to make sure that you position your mic and camera correctly. Now, we're going to talk more about positioning and the way you need to set this up later, but make sure you keep in mind that this is going to be seen as well as heard. And for the most part, you guys are going to be using the same device to record audio and video. So you kind of need to position things accordingly. You can see my terrible pictures off to the side there about what I don't want it to look like when I see your face versus what I do. I don't want to see the chin up shot. So position your phone in a way that we can see your face head on, right? As opposed to underneath your chin or on top of your head or off to the side. I want to be able to see you, and I also want to be able to hear you. So make sure that the microphone is positioned close, but not too close. And the microphone position on phones is different. So Some of them, the microphone is actually on the bottom of the phone. Some of it's on the top of the phone. Just make sure that you know where the microphone is. The easiest way to test that is to cover up different spots of the phone and try to record yourself and see where it's bad, where it's muffled. And when you position your phone to record, make sure that the camera is oriented so that we can see you head on, but the microphone is not blocked. Otherwise, it's going to sound muffled and bad. We want to try to make it sound as good as it's going to look. Okay. The next thing here is the equipment that you're going to need. So you will need some stuff to make this happen. You're going to need an instrument. It's pretty straightforward. You are going to need a video and an audio recording device, and it's probably best if they're the same device. What do I mean by that? A smartphone is really the best option for most of you. You set up your phone so that it is pointed at you with the microphone unmuffled, and you will video and audio yourself at the same time. You can just do that with the regular video function of your phone. If it's possible, if you can use the primary camera on your phone so it's a little higher quality, that would be great. Not the selfie camera on your phone. If that's not possible, it's okay. Just use the selfie cam. It doesn't really matter. If you have a laptop with a webcam, you can do this as long as it does have an okay mic and an okay webcam. Just make sure that the webcam on the laptop is positioned so that we see you head on. Sometimes they put the webcam on laptops like at the bottom near the keyboard, and that makes things really complicated. So just make sure you kind of play around with that. You can do this on a desktop with a webcam and an external microphone. That's the setup that I have here, but I'm a crazy person. I know that not all of you have that. But if you have that kind of a setup, that can work really well. Just make sure that you open up some recording software and record the audio and the video at the same time. And then probably the most complicated setup would be a real camera with the ability to record sound. So if you have like a DSLR or some kind of a nice camera that you can film yourself with that can also simultaneously capture the audio. Please don't send me separate audio and video files. That's going to make things even more complicated on my side. So send a single combined file that has the audio and the video together. So I know some of you know how to do this and have some experience with this, and that's great. If you want to tweak that, those two things separately, then send them to me. That's fine as one combined file. But for most people, just use your phone, okay? All right. You're also going to need a second music playback device. Now this might seem kind of complicated. You need something else that you can listen to while you're recording. And that thing needs to be maybe another phone or a computer or something that you can connect headphones or earbuds to that you can hear, but that the microphone that you're recording on can't hear. This is really important. I want you to be listening to the rehearsal track so that you stay exactly in time, because if you're not in time, syncing this is going to be basically impossible. But I also don't want to hear that track. So you need to be listening to the rehearsal track so that we stay in time when we're recording, but I don't want to be able to hear the rehearsal track in the final recording. So you need to be able to listen to that, but don't have it audible in the recording track. So that means you're going to have two devices to do this. That means that you can't just do this with one smartphone and you're listening to the track at the same time that you record it. It won't work. It just isn't going to work. And you don't want to use the microphone on your earbuds anyway. Those little microphones are terrible, and they're going to be too close for a lot of this stuff. Well, what if I don't have two devices? Then you can set a metronome exactly to the metronome markings that are on the recordings and have the metronome going in earbuds or in some way that you can stay in time, but I don't want to hear the click, okay? Do not record this without having either a metronome or the rehearsal tracks being heard as you go. Don't just say, oh, I'll be able to do it. I'll be able to stay in time. No, you won't. And that means that I'll have to go back through and post and rearrange your parts, and that's going to make my time just completely miserable. Please listen to the rehearsal tracks while you are playing, but don't have them audible. Okay, I know that's complicated, but it's important. Okay, the next thing here, how to record. So put on headphones or earbuds from the second device, okay, the one that's playing the rehearsal tracks. Turn on your recording device, your primary device, probably another smartphone that's going to be aimed at your face and recording what you're playing. Play the provided rehearsal track for the piece you're recording on the second device. So hit play on that. It'll give you a count off. And then play along to the rehearsal track while you're recording. Stop the recording device when you're done. Listen back to the recording and make sure that it sounds good and that you're happy with it. You didn't make any mistakes. You can be seen. You can be heard, all that stuff. If you're not happy with it, do it again. It's okay. Just record it again until you are happy with it. Obviously, the more times that you've practiced and the more prepared you are, the easier the recording process is going to be. If you are happy with it, move on to the next step. So what is that next step? You need to send me the recordings. And you're going to send me 3 separate files: singing Faith, Hope, and Love, playing Faith, Hope, and Love, and playing Pomp and Circumstance. Rename each of those files to this format, and you can see the example down there: sing Faith, Hope, and Love, bass, Alex Smith. So that's the part that I would sing, and then that's my name, sing FHL, sing Faith, Hope, and Love, so that I know exactly how these things are going to be organized. When this is done, I'm going to have several hundred tracks that I'm going to have to be able to put together, both audio and visual, and that's going to be really complicated, and having those things named correctly when they come into me will save me literal hours of work of going through and naming those tracks and sorting them correctly. So it takes very little time on your side, but it saves me a huge amount of time. Okay, then you need to submit the files to me, and this can be done a couple different ways. It's basically whatever's going to be easiest for you. I just need to make sure that they come in a way that I know that that's what they're for. So you can submit it to me through Google Drive. It's probably the easiest way. Or you can email them if they're small enough. If they're too large of a file, then obviously email is not going to work and you're going to have to use Google Drive. There are some other options. I mean, you could technically use Dropbox. You could maybe try to get the files to me physically. Like if they're just crazy, maybe you recorded this on something super high quality and you want to mail me a flash drive or something, we can sort that out. Just communicate with me, email me, let me know how things are moving, and I'll try to get that stuff sorted that way. The important thing is that this stuff needs to be done and into me by Friday, April the 17th. Now, this isn't an assignment necessarily, so it's not like this is a due date that's like, oh, if you don't get it in, then you can't do it. It's just try to get it into me by the 17th. I'm going to be working on this a lot. It'll probably take me the rest of April to get this done for May, is kind of what I'm assuming. But the sooner I can start, the sooner I can get things moving. The recording or the creation process is going to be very, very lengthy. This is why I was kind of avoiding doing a virtual band kind of thing, is because the time on my side is going to be crazy. But it's worth it, and I'm happy to do it for you guys. But it involves you participating in this. So, yeah. Okay, some quick things to avoid. I do not want to hear your rehearsal tracks and recording. Make sure you're listening to it through headphones or earbuds. That's important. It's okay if we see the headphones and the earbuds in the video. That's okay. Please play along to the rehearsal track. This project will not work if you don't stay perfectly in time with the tracks. I've explained that already. Make sure your recording space is well lit and your face is clearly seen. Okay, we want to be able to see your face, so make sure that we can, see your face. And then treat this like a concert, because it is. This is probably going, well, it is not probably, it's going to be our final concert of the school year. And it's going to be really short, but it's going to be something that's memorable and probably something that you're going to look back on in the future. Make this special for the seniors, okay? Seniors, I want you to record this too, including Pomp and Circumstance. But it needs to be something that is special. It's not what we would have chosen. It's not what we wanted. It's not how we would have chosen things to go down. But it is what we have, and it's the best that we can do, and it needs to be something special. Okay, folks, if you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Email me, ask them to me. Yeah, we're going to make this thing work.